Welcome to the 7th part of squares and square roots. In this session, we'll be dealing how to find out whether a given number can be a perfect square or not without actual calculation. We have been given some number and we have to find out if it can be a perfect square or not. So for that we write the numbers from 1 to 9 and then find out the squares and write the units digit. See, this way, this is the number, square of that number and the units digit. 1, the square is 1 and the units digit is 1. 2, square is 4 and the units digit is 4. Similarly, I have written all the numbers from 1 to 9 and their squares and the units digit. See, the units digit here is 9, 6, 5, 6, 9, 4 and 1. These are the units digit that I have written. What do you exactly observe here? 1, 4, everything is there. Some digits are missing. The missing digit is, let's see, 2. Yes, 2 is missing. So we write that 2 is missing. 3, of course, 3 is also missing. 4 is very much there in the square of 2 and 8. Then 5, we have 5 in the square of 5. 6 in the square of 4 and 6. 7 also we don't have, so we write 7. And then another missing digit is 8. So this is our observation. We observe that when we find out the square of numbers from 1 to 9, we get 2, 3, 7 and 8 as the missing digits. In none of the numbers 2, 3, 7 and 8 can appear in the units digit. So this is our first check. Also, there is one more point to note, that is, for instance, I have a number 400, 900, 2,50,000. Here I see that the number of zeros is even. Here also the number of zeros is even. So whenever there are even number of zeros, a number can be a perfect square. 2, 3, 7, 8. If I have a number like this, I know that 8, if 8 is there in the units place, the number cannot be a perfect square. So 2, 3, 7, 8 cannot be a perfect square. Similarly, if I have a number 499, I know that 9 can appear in the units digit. Suppose it's a square of 3 or the square of 7. So in both the cases, we have 9 in the units place. So here 499 can be a perfect square. Similarly, we'll see some more examples. Here I have an exercise 49. As we all know, 49 is the square of 7. So 7 square. 576. 576 has 6 in the units place. And we have observed that if 2, 3, 7 and 8, if these numbers appear in the units place, then only the number cannot be a perfect square. So if 6 is there, so it can be a perfect square. Similarly, 5, 1, 2, 2, 5. We have to observe only the units digit. And here also we see that 2, 3, 7 and 8. It's only 5 here. So it can be perfect square. Here 8 is the units digit and we know that 2, 3, 7 and 8. If any of these is appearing in the units place, a number cannot be a perfect square. Here in this example, there are even number of zeros. So it can be a perfect square. Now comes 441. Here 1 is the units digit. Once again, it can be a perfect square. 3844. Here we observe that 4 is there in the units place. 4 can be a square of 2. The last unit can be 2 or 8. So once again, it is a perfect square. And here 9977. It cannot be a perfect square. Whenever 2, 3, 7 and 8 are appearing, it cannot be a perfect square. So 9977 cannot be a perfect square. So what we have observed today is, if there are even number of zeros or there is a digit from 1 to 9 except 2, 3, 7 and 8 in the units place, then only a given number can be a perfect square. Our final observation is that if we have been given a number and we have to find out whether it can be a perfect square or not, we have to remember just the squares of the first 9 numbers, 1 to 9. 1 to 9, if we remember the squares, then we can remember the units digit, and these are the units digit.
Hope you are liking all our videos. So, send in your suggestions and queries in the comment box, share the videos with your friends, and press the bell icon for the latest information on all the videos of Maths and English. And don't forget to subscribe the channel Ideainfini.